All right, we're live. All right. Just gonna retweet myself. Hopefully everyone is today's Valentine's Day. Hopefully everyone's having a great Valentine's Day. I'm just going to get ready here. So I am simulcasting across all of our communities. And we're live on YouTube. We're also live on our Twitter. So this is, let me just get my face back up here. This is Total Value Locks from Beacon DeFi, our free Friday training called Beat the Banks, where basically we're going to talk about all things great in crypto, on-chain, blockchain investing, and decentralized finance. And we do this every week for free from our free group at skool.com/beacon, which is Total Value Locked. So let me get myself here. Again, feel free to join us, skool.com/beacon. If you guys are interested, it's absolutely free. Learn from the best in the business. Come join more than 1,200 people who are already on their way to unlocking financial freedom and all the good stuff that comes along with self-custodying and being in control of your own financial future. I did want to talk really quick. We're going to be going to Denver very soon. In fact, we're going early for ETH Denver 2025. This is the world's largest DeFi conference. There will be most likely during the main event, which starts on the 26th of February, in excess of probably 20,000 people on the floor. So if you got to get a flu shot or something before then, I don't blame you. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll be there. We are ETH Denver is the spiritual home of Beacon DeFi. A lot of what you see today was born out of our first visits to ETH Denver. Our focus on community, our focus on helping others, our focus on educating people about the good and the beautiful part of being in DeFi, which is decentralized finance. So what I'm going to talk about today, and last week what I talked about was being able to use DeFi to do more with your money, right? We'll do more with your crypto. So we're going to expand on that. I kind of had the idea that I wanted to show you a little bit more utility with regards to DeFi and just other on-chain and blockchain ideas that you can use to really just hopefully grow a nice little nest egg, do more, make your money stretch more, because it's more than just buying crypto at a CEX. It's more than just figuring out how to trade. That's one way to do it. But if you could actually do that and make money while you do that in terms of fees, in terms of what decentralized finance provides, that's even better. So one thing I wanted to talk about before we start there again with ETH Denver is that I am doing a master class. So if you're a Beacon Mastermind member, if you're a Beacon Accelerator member, we have a monthly master class that happens with me normally on a Saturday, normally the third Saturday of the month. We're not doing that this month because obviously we're going to be in Denver. So I'm actually doing it live. I'm actually finalizing a venue today. So if you want to come and see what we do, if you want to learn from me, we're actually going to be doing a very interesting topic this month for our master class, which is about bots and automation and how you can use tools and technology to win in this space. It's not just about buying tokens or selling tokens. It's also about automated positions, arbitrage, all kinds of things that you can do to get ahead. So I'll have more information in our group at skool.com/beacon for anybody who wants to come to that. You're more than welcome to join us in person for that. It'll also be live streamed to everybody who is a Mastermind member or a Beacon Accelerator member around the world at the same time. We'll have more details on that soon. So back to the topic. Again, skool.com/beacon if you want to join this fantastic group, this fantastic community of action takers and people making progress on their journey of self-custody in this space. So what I wanted to talk about first before we move on, I kind of wanted to go back to, things you can do in DeFi, things that are ways to make passive income. Telegram is one of those apps that, honestly, for me, for my time, for my money, not something I'm willing to do. The majority of the people in our mastermind, really successful people, own multiple businesses, families, careers, not really the type that have the time to do tap stuff, right? So if you're doing hamster combat, if you're doing Catizen, some of these others, yes coin, no coin, not coin, Bloom, just thinking of, all the ones that are out there. I did this for the culture, if you want to call it, for about a month and a half, just to kind of see what it was about. So they require that you do this on your phone with the Telegram app, and basically you sign up, you have a wallet. The key is if it's much easier if you're not in the United States, because most of the stuff is not allowed for US residents. You can actually play the games, but you'll actually have to transfer them out to a wallet that is not under US jurisdiction to do that through the Telegram network. So kind of the poo-poo on that, to be quite honest. Not loving that. But there are a lot of people who have made money on a lot of these types of in-app games. You're going to have to spend a lot of time, and it might be something that, like, if you have someone who, like, if you have a child who needs something to do, or because one time when I had my kids playing Hamster Combat, just sitting there on the screen, tap, 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 tap. And I think I qualified for like $40 once the airdrop happened. I'm like, it just really wasn't worth it. Overall, with the amount of time spent, for me personally, it may be for you. And there are some people who get in early on some of this stuff. You might find something, but the key to that is going to Tapps.center, TAPPS.center, and Tapps stands for Telegram apps. So using Telegram as a way for not just learning, reaching out to people, getting alpha, finding out about projects, because a lot of projects use Telegram. I prefer Discord to Telegram personally, but these games, a lot of them do have tokens. Some of them even have launch pads for other meme coins like Bloom. Feel free to check them out. I personally haven't been very active in this space just because, honestly, there's just a lot of time that's needed for a lot of these types of games. But if it's something that you want to grind out, something that you want to get into, or even if you're someone who's looking to make money as an app creator, it's not the most difficult thing in the world to create this. I'm sure you could probably, frankly, just use a ChatGPT app to try and generate a Telegram mini app to do whatever it is that you need to do. Obviously not financial advice. Do your own research on this type of stuff. I'm not telling you to do that, but you could make some decent money as an app creator, because you do get revenue share and all that type of stuff. So the reason I talk about Telegram is because they are in the news, mainly for the legacy mesh. Let me grab that tweet. Tether announced yesterday the legacy mesh, and it's actually a really big announcement. Let me find the complete article. Got it. I'll put it here. And the reason why it's important is something that we call interoperability. Interoperability is just the ability to have blockchain ecosystems talk to each other. Oftentimes when I talk to people who are new to this space, they're like, I wish it just wasn't so hard to just do what you need to do. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of people who they don't have a lot of time. They want to get from point A to point B quickly, not have to jump through so many hoops. Let me tell you guys, you guys are here at the best time, because ultimately, for the last 4 or 5 years that I've been in this space, it is a long road for trucking. But the reason for that is technology takes time. And there are plenty of great opportunities that we've had and are still having at this time. And for what we're looking at, there's more automations. It's easier to onboard into the space, especially thanks to Jupiter, especially thanks to Uniswap. The ability to have just what we call account abstraction or chain abstraction even. So it doesn't matter what chain you're on. Everything just talks to each other. Everything just works. That's where the legacy mesh is going to be important, because it's working with layer 0, a really huge messaging protocol that has really transformed the DeFi and Web3 space over the last three years. And now with Arbitrum as the hub chain, you can actually, as long as you have USDT, easily move that between Ethereum, Ton, which is the open network, which is Telegram's blockchain, Arbitrum, Tron, Kraken's Inc. blockchain, as well as Barrachain. There's 8 of them here. So this is actually big news for Tether. Now, Circle, which is behind USDC, which is partly owned by Coinbase, they've got a gigantic network. They have all the ETH layer 2s. There's at least, I want to say, 24 chains you can get USDC natively on across multiple ecosystems besides Ethereum-based virtual machine networks. We're also talking about Cosmos IBCs, fringe L1s like Algorand, and multiple others, and then of course Solana. So USDC is a stable coin, fantastic. USDT is by far the largest stable coin in crypto, in DeFi. It's number 3 behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. I will prove that to you, because we always say don't trust, verify, and confusion equals money. And it is right. It's number 4. It's been fighting back and forth with XRP. XRP back up to 280. My goodness. Looky at that. Congrats to all the XRP holders. But anyway, the old joke that we have is a Tether to $5 is on the table. Of course, it's not going to, because it's going to be it's a coin that's pegged to the US dollar. It's just a stable coin. But the fact that it has $141 billion in market cap is huge. Now, USDC is number 7, as you can see here. But it is very much catching up to USDT. With that said, you can do more with USDC in DeFi than you can with USDT. But that will change thanks to this legacy mesh, because we're going to see more USDT in circulation across multiple blockchains that a lot of people use, which is the one thing that we talk about a lot, is that when we're recommending blockchains and protocols to our communities, you want to be where all of the other investors are, what we call the hot balls of money. Because if you're not going to gain yield off of behaviors of other investors that aren't there, is basically it. So what we're looking for here is interoperability, where the point where all of what blockchain you're on is going to start to melt away, and then you're just there. And Jupiter and Uniswap are building these ecosystems, these moats, if you will, these walled gardens, if you want to call them that. Same with Telegram, also in the same situation, where they have a platform and they have all of these apps that you can interact with, earn coins on, and then do something with them at some point. The legacy mesh is going to help that, because you'll be able to take your USDT or just your coins, find a way to convert them to USDT if you don't want to hold them, and then move those profits on chain to a better, more equipped chain for DeFi, like Arbitrum. Not saying that Ton isn't equipped for DeFi, because it does have DeFi. It's just slow. It's also expensive. I think Ton is at 386. That's actually a decent buy. I should have bought. Looking at this dip, that was one I should have bought more of, because I've been accumulating Ton for quite some time. And for those who are wondering, what's the big deal about Ton? Ton has more than 350, 400 million wallets. So there are people using the application. And when you have users using an ecosystem, that's what you want when you want with regards to ecosystems to invest in. I'm not going to go to some fringe blockchain that no one's ever heard of. I want to be nice here. Fine. Like Flare, for example. But Flare's somewhere in the move, I'm sure. But there's not a ton of people doing DeFi there. So there's not really a lot of opportunity for yield. But on big chains where there is, like anything within the Ethereum ecosystem, like Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, which is from Coinbase, and then Solana, even Tron, if you want to call it Tron, you can do things with your money, stretch it. It's not just holding coins. Holding coins is easy. I'll go buy something on Coinbase right now and hold that for 3 to 5 years. Now you can stake some of that, earn 3 to 5%, which is great, right? The fact that it's beating the banks, and that's part of what we're talking about here. That's fine, but we don't like to look at CEX as a bank. CEXs are just a vehicle. They're an exchange where you conduct trading because they're a centralized order book exchange, right? You're there to invest money. You don't treat it like a bank. I know people who treat their CEX like a bank. In decentralized finance, at least you get to hold your assets and also work with your assets. That's the key. The ability to have self-custody, be your own bank, is what we love. So right now we're going to pivot a little bit into some things that you can do to spend money. Because a lot of people ask me, Chris, what can I do if I go and I get into a great project, or I got into a meme coin, I bought Trump and I got some profit? How do I get it? How do I work with that? And I'm going to say this now, not financial advice, not tax advice either. Just know that all this fun stuff, pictures of monkeys, Trump coins, AI stuff, if you buy it in DeFi, if you buy it in crypto, it's a taxable event. So keep that in mind. Now, again, not financial advice, not tax advice. For a very long time, I was of the mind that if I'm in DeFi, which is a subsystem, a financial system where no sovereign entity owns any of it, I don't think the governments at all, regardless of what country you live in, should be able to tax you on funds that you hold in DeFi. Why? Because you're self-custodying those assets. Those are my assets. They don't belong to any country. Now, per US, I'm a US citizen, by the way, per US regulations, if I go to withdraw my money from DeFi back up to Coinbase, because I need that to go to my fiat bank account, my credit union, I will be paying taxes on that because that is technically capital gains, right? Crypto is seen as capital gains. What I will say for all of you here, again, not financial advice, not tax advice, do your own research. I'm not planning on filing my taxes right now. I'm going to take a little bit of an extension. Obviously, it's as everyone should. I know there are penalties with that, of course. I do think we're going to see some updates to the tax code. Why? Because President Trump has a ton of money in DeFi, and so does half of Congress at this point. They're going to pass legislation that works well for them, are they not? So keep that in mind. If you're in a situation where, let's say you got an airdrop, by the way, you're taxed on that from the day you got it. Yeah, sucks, right? Yeah, US tax law. So if you got an airdrop worth like 20 grand and the token is worth 5 grand now, you're going to be taxed on the day that you got it. Oh, that's one that really not pleased about. But there is such a thing as tax loss harvesting. There is such a thing, about reducing your capital gains in that case. But if you have multiple airdrops because you're in a successful group, for example, that helps you find all of these great things. So you always are on the up, Anyway, my point is, if you want to be able to spend money that you have in DeFi without having to push them up to a CEX, out to a fiat bank account, you do have some options. So I'm going to talk about a couple of those. Now, question. Feel free to put a comment out there, whether you're watching me on YouTube, Twitter, or here locally in our Zoom community on Total Value Locked. How many people, what would you say would be the percentage of overall viewership that is under the age of 18? Are there children using DeFi and crypto? Just give me a couple comments. Let me know what you think. The answer isn't resounding yes. When I started in this, as a career, about 4 years ago now, I was in multiple private groups that had kids who were still in high school. I know that sounds a little weird. And it is weird because for the most part, you have to be 18 in order to have an account at a CEX, at a centralized exchange. So we had kids who were buying NFTs, kids who were mining coins. Remember now, when you see kids getting gaming PCs, they're doing more than just playing games. They were also mining Ethereum, also mining Bitcoin, also mining Monero or Dogecoin. There are kids out there that have crypto that's worth a lot of money, and they may not realize it, by the way. So help them figure that out. I know kids who are in high school who created NFT projects on Solana, made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Kind of makes you rethink your career path, right? I know it did for me. Let's just put it that way. But that's not why I'm here, and that's not why I'm here in Web3. It's not why we started Beacon. It's not for the money. It's here because we truly do believe that DeFi is the future of finance. So, hat tip to Donald Trump Jr. I've been saying it for years. I heard you say it on the World Liberty Financial stream. We've been saying it for years, but I appreciate the sentiment. Yes, we do believe that DeFi is the future of finance. It's the future of how we're going to do business. But for a lot of these kids, they're like, yeah, I have all this money. What do I do with it? And some of them were good. Well, actually, they didn't even have to report it, right? Because they're under the age of 18. Also, why would you? Oh, I'm not. Anyway, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. So the one thing that a lot of kids that I knew did was that they took their winnings and they bought Amazon gift cards with them. So if you're wondering, what can I do with, oh, cool, live on ETH and USDC on base. Nice. Bitrefill, one of my favorite places to go if you're looking for something. Unfortunately, some of my favorites, that's like Kato.money, which had a full Sky Mall-like experience. Like you could use your UST. I know it's a terrible word to use. But back when Luna was still amazing, I was about to buy my first MacBook Pro with crypto profits. Didn't quite happen thanks to that crash. But anyway, you can buy gift cards. You can buy eSIMs. You can buy games, plan trips, thanks to sites like Bitrefill. Bitrefill is not the only site that's out there, but you're able to buy things, gift cards, spend things. If you're looking for easy ways to spend your profits for other things, like if you went out there, you have profits and you got a great thing. Now you want to plan a trip to the Bahamas, to Mexico, wherever. You can do so, and you can pay with crypto, mainly by buying gift cards at a lot of these places. Really, it's helpful, right? I will tell you that Coinbase has a debit card that you can. All it takes is to bring USDC onto Coinbase, and now you have a debit card that you can use. I used that for our entire trip to Canada, and it was fantastic. And I apologize because clearly USDC has a much better exchange rate with being a US stablecoin than a Canadian one. So, but to not have to worry about that because I used profits from stuff here to pay for things, really big plus about doing so. It does settle in USDC. And of course, they're going to be giving you a 1099 with all of that stuff as well, because they are required by law to that. But if you'd rather not go that route, you can, of course, do it through something like Bitrefill. So check that out if that's something you're looking for. Bitrefill.com. And there's a couple other sites that are out also like it, but Bitrefill's been around forever. I met them a couple of times. I met them last year at ETH Denver. They were nice enough to give us some swag and some things that I really can't show you on. I don't know why they decided to give away condoms at ETH Denver, but that's gross. It was gross. Anyway, Spritz. Now, what's great about Spritz is that you can pay utility bills, you can pay your phone bill, you can pay your light bill with crypto, with DeFi profits. So they do charge a fee, of course. That's a convenience fee, and frankly, worth it, right? Because you don't have to worry about especially if you're like in a hurry, like you really have to pay a credit card bill, or you have you have a bill that's due, and you don't want to wait the time to get it wired to your bank. And speaking of beating the banks, I sent money from my bank account at my bank to my credit union, also in my, also my account. And for me to send took 3 days. Why should it take 3 days to go between two banks in an electronic banking system between my accounts? Probably a fringe case, but anyway, annoying. Now, great comment from Lena in our Zoom. She said, so why pay your life bills with crypto when you can save your crypto to make more profits in crypto, or park it in BTC to stack and pay your life bills with fiat? Now, that's a great question. You can. But I know people who literally farm stable coins literally just to pay off taxes and capital gains, because they outpace it so much. Sure, you can continue to reinvest, but if you didn't have to, in some cases, there are people that don't have that option, right? Some people, unfortunately, due to issues, with whatever's going on, there's a lot of layoffs going on, right? So this may be their only source of income. So the fact that they can do this while they're waiting to find another position, or whatever's out there, you can do that. Also, great point. Well, I don't know how it is now, but obviously in the time when most of us, if we wanted to play online poker, had to do so with crypto, like with Poker Stars and stuff like that. If you made a lot of money off of a tournament and you had nothing else to do with it, stuff like this was an easy way to spend your profits for anything you wanted to do. So that's Spritz. Originally available on Polygon blockchain, they're now available on multiple blockchains. And you can actually get a virtual or physical debit card. And there are multiple people that are actually doing this now. For example, Cash App and Venmo. Now that PayPal USD is a thing, you can easily send money quickly out of crypto out to something like a Venmo or a PayPal. You'll have to kind of do some research on that yourself. But these are all great things that you can do with crypto and DeFi profits. But yeah, for this right here, this is the main thing that I know a lot of people use it for. It's like, because let's say you take $1,000 for bills, you pop it into a stable coin farm earning 30%. Okay, let's say it's $10,000. You can use the interest off of that to pay off stuff, loans, in TradFi, stuff like that. Yeah. So essentially, you're making the profit anyway. Why not just take that and immediately pay with this? Now, again, not tax advice. Didn't say that. Think about that. Something to do. Who was it? They wanted to buy a car and they were using crypto profits to do so. But what they did was they bought the car with a loan through their credit union, and they took the money they would have spent on that to your credit, Lena, and they put it into a couple of large APY farms and are outpacing not only the impermanent loss, but they're also outpacing the the amount they'd pay every month. So they're actually, just paying, a little bit more than the minimum on the loan. But yeah, they're going to be ahead and they'll pay that down pretty quickly. So yeah, a lot of use cases. In fact, I had a coaching call with somebody the other day that told me about an old project from 2022 called Milo, which you can buy mortgages online using on-chain funds. I think Milo's still around, not sure. With that said, there's stuff like Proppy and some of these other real estate based RWAs that are coming online that you'll be able to buy property and tokenize them. That'll be interesting. So with that said, if you don't want to use Spritz, you can also use Soicard, where you can actually top up and create merchant virtual debit cards using Solana. Very easy to do, very quick. It is backed, so that type of stuff. The other one, and I've met them multiple times. They make really nice, comfy T-shirts too. Thanks, swag. Cypher. The one thing about Cypher and the one thing probably about Spritz is that you do have to KYC. So if that's something you don't want to do, well, then maybe the bit refill or the Spritz method, or rather, yeah, the bit refill method might be the way to go. Because there are people who don't want to have any of their details out there. Now, KYC, for a lot of people, they love it for privacy purposes, because if you KYC, you should get guaranteed privacy, although that's not necessarily the case in the most instances. But you have the ability to use Cypher as basically a way you just transfer funds to, I think for Cypher, they have Arbitrum and Base. I think they're the two blockchains, and you're able to do that. Now, if you use MetaMask also has a card. It's backed through an issuer in Switzerland. I want to say it's Banxa, but don't quote me on that. But all you have to do is take any funds that you want to include as USDC on the Linea blockchain, which is their zero knowledge proof layer 2, and you can spend your funds that way. You can go to MetaMask's website to know more about that specifically, but you do have to apply for that card, and you do KYC. I have mine. I haven't used it yet, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe something to do. So if you are interested in this stuff, before I head to Lulo, you're gonna need to have to set up, wallets and stuff like that. So if you're going to be wanting to go to Solana, you'll need to use a wallet like Phantom. There are multiple wallets available for Solana. There's Phantom, Backpack, Solflare, Jupiter, even Magic Eden as a wallet. Phantom has long been the market leader. Up to you if you want to use it. Obviously, that's it's your own custody of your own assets. They just create an asset off of a seed phrase, and then you just have to obviously keep your seed phrase safe, and then you can fund it from however you like to do it. Up to you which based blockchains we recommend you use Rabby. It doesn't do Solana, it only does EVM. Phantom does do some Ethereum based blockchains, but it's only Base, Polygon, and Ethereum to my knowledge. And they also do Bitcoin. And now Sui. So Phantom does have its place inside of EVM, mainly because a lot of people on Solana do NFTs. So that's the main reason. But if you're on EVM, it's Rabby. Rabby is leaps ahead and head and shoulders above MetaMask. It's based off of MetaMask code. It is from the DBank team, which is one of our favorite dashboards in the space, and it's what you should be using, in our opinion, for Ethereum-based blockchain transactions. Why? Because it's just a better experience overall. It's easy to use. Pardon me. And for this option right here, this is what's called the gas account, and it allows you on Ethereum-based blockchains or any chain that's compatible with a Rabby wallet, you can pay with stable coins for gas. Now, of course, you should still have some gas just in case on a specific blockchain, but using the gas account and using stable coins to pay for gas, so you don't have to worry about having things like IP on Story Network or Bera chains, Bera, FTM on Phantom or S on Phantom Sonic, AVAX on Avalanche. You can just pay with stable coins, and it's such a game changer. Makes life a lot easier. Want to learn more about that? Of course, go to our free group, skool.com/beacon, to learn more about that. I'll put the banner on the bottom here for everybody watching on YouTube and on Twitter. So the one thing I just went to here was at Lulo. Lulo is a Solana-based platform. They've marketed account of DeFi. Let me go back to the main page. And essentially, it's kind of like, if you are familiar with, I don't want to say acorns, but kind of like that. Basically, you deposit Sol or whatever assets you like, and they give you some rates, and they take the money, much like in banking, and they'll put them in multiple pools, using it as collateral, part of their whole wealth, what we call strength in numbers plays, and return all of the profits to you. Now, if I wanted to deposit an asset, they have a couple different ways to do so. You can do so through USDC, Sol, as you can see the 30-day rates across the spots, USDC, USDT, PayUI USD, which is PayPal USD. There's USDS, which is the old DAI. It's now called Sky Money. You can get above 8% there. And then FDUSD, which is a newer stable coin. It's only going to be on Camino there, but as you can see, it's above 10%. But if I'm just doing USDC and I wanted to deposit it in my portfolio, all I do is take USDC, which you can get from Coinbase, you can get from anywhere in DeFi, send it over to Solana. And the average APY, like let's say that I just happen to do all of it. There's the protected, which is like the most conservative portfolio. That's going to be at less than 5%, but that's better than what I get at my bank. Boosted, 8.82, and then custom, you can get a little bit higher, and you can like specifically ask which way from an exposure standpoint that you want with regards to diversification. But boosted is probably the one you'd probably want to go to, at least for USDC. That's going to be 8.82%. If I went and tried to go for USDT, we just talked about that with their legacy mesh. I guess the custom is only for max for USDT, which is fine because you want to make sure you get 8.51. If I went for PayPal USD, that's at 8.17%. And then USDS, 11. Oh, that's not bad. In either case, not a bad way to grow your stable coins. If you have stable coins, you just want to hold on to them, you can go to somewhere like Lulo. There's a couple different places you can do this, but Lulo specifically is trying to specialize in being, quote unquote, the savings account of Solana. So you'll get an average APY as well as your estimated annual earnings. Like, for example, let's just say that I put $5,000 in here. I don't have that, but you'll be earning on it at a specific amount. So if you're looking for something like that, obviously a better rate than what you'll have at your bank, then having something like this is easy peasy. And they have mobile interfaces, so you can check all this from your phone, from your iPad. You don't even have to be at the computer. You literally set and just come back after a long Goldilocks-like nap, right? Let's see. So questions. We have a question from Lena. Yeah. So ultimately, Lena, there's so many companies that some of them have specific criteria, right? Like some of them are only like, we'll only do it on this blockchain. You can't be a US resident or a UK resident. Some are like, doesn't matter where you are. It just depends. Some of them are, you have to be able to have a Swiss bank account is one specifically. So really, now that they're all out there, we should see some better competition, as well as some better rates, as well as some more flexible options. But yeah, what the space now for payment rails, black and white from where we were a year ago. Year ago, we were looking at, 30K Bitcoin, and ultimately people wondering if we were going back down to 16, right? There wasn't a whole lot of building, a whole lot of hype. This year, a lot of hype. We're going to reclaim 100,000 Bitcoin again, I'm sure, in the next week or two. And we're hopefully going to see ETH start to break 3K. That would be amazing if they got back above 3K. Now, the all-time high for ETH is like 4,800, I think. So we have quite a bit of a ways to go. But just because you hold crypto doesn't mean that you can't do anything with it. For a lot of people, they're like, I just like to trade. That's fine. But for people who want to actually make their, well, not make, but have their money work for them, DeFi is available with all kinds of awesome mechanisms, whether they be yield farms, staking, supplying, more complex things like perp dexes, concentrate liquidity, even simple things like sports betting. You'll be surprised how many kids I know under the age of 21 who have made tons of money on Solana, BNB, and all kinds of different casinos on the blockchain. They don't talk about it much because they really don't want to, expose all of that, I suppose. But there's a lot of people making a lot of money on prediction markets, on online casinos, literal casinos, not just like on trading on chains like a casino. No, literal casinos. Like I've seen platforms with actual virtual dealers, like actual people in a room dealing blackjack and stuff like that. They do exist. So, yeah, and that was really the purpose of today's talk. I wanted to let you guys see that, like we talked about last week, DeFi can do so many things for you. It's not just going and buying Bitcoin or buying ETH or buying Pepe and trying to see if your theory gets invalidated, if you're pulling the right fib, or if you're in the golden pocket or anything like that. That's fine if you want to do that. There are tons of trading groups out there that can support you on that, honestly. But there's very few DeFi ones, and I think we're one of the best, if not the best in the world. And we've got years of experience and success to back us up on that. And again, we're not here for the money. We're here for the tech. We're here to push everything forward, make DeFi accessible, educate the world. So if you know anybody who's curious about this, especially if they bought Trump, especially if they bought Melania, sorry about that, or anything else out there, and they're curious enough to know, what can I do more with my crypto besides just hold it here in this wallet on Coinbase or on Kraken or on crypto.com or MEXC or KuCoin? Send them our way. We're happy to take care of them. Again, we have a completely free group at Total Value Locked from Beacon DeFi, skool.com/beacon. Join the masses who are coming our way, and start here post. It actually gives you a lovely video from myself and my co-founder Andrew, and just giving you some pathways, because we do have multiple pathways available for you. If you want to get there faster, be with the best of the best, we do have offerings for that. But of course, you can learn absolutely free here at this group, and hopefully you'll refer more people to us. That's the hope, because that's the great thing about ETH Denver, right? You can go, you can meet people, and you don't have to explain what Lulo is, or you may have to, but you can talk about crypto things and not have people look at you like you're speaking a weird language. That's the power of in-person bonds. That's the power of community, and that's what we love at Beacon DeFi. So if any of this resonated with you, please join us. We'd love to have you. We do this call every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, here on, I'm doing across normally on our Zoom we have it, but now I'm doing it on YouTube and Twitter, just kind of trying it out, getting a lot of really great response, a lot of great feedback. If there is any feedback you have, things you want to see, please feel free to let me know. Follow me on Twitter, follow us on all of our socials. Happy to be there. What I will say, and Lena's comment was in our Zoom chat, is that the industry needs to mature. They've done a ton of maturing in the last 18 months. We're going to see a lot of interesting things, specifically from Coinbase and Base this year, and also from Solana. We're going to see a lot of interesting moves that I think will make it a lot easier for more people to come in. Love or hate the collateral damage of the Trump meme coin, it did bring a lot of people and a lot of eyes into the space at the expense of a lot of really good projects here in DeFi, unfortunately. But the waters have receded, as we like to say, and a lot of the narratives are back on. So excited to meet a lot of builders in Denver. We'll be there getting a ton of information. We'll be making quite a bit of content. Finally going to be meeting with quite a few people that have been trying to get on our Wednesday podcast, TVL, which is at 1 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday here on our channels. And I hope that I can meet you too. So if you're a founder, if you're a team member, you want to work with us because we're the best DeFi education brand in this space, feel free to reach out. Happy to help you onboard your users. Happy to also help onboard anybody else that you think needs to be in this space safely and securely, might I add. There's a lot of people who want to help you get high yields, but they care nothing about your safety and security. That is not the case with us. We take that as priority number one. Okay. Wednesday's free. Wednesday's on our YouTube and our Twitter. It's 1 p.m. Eastern. We try to have a panel every week. Hey, Wayne, good to see you. We are not having a house at ETH Denver. We normally have a house. We decided not to. Didn't get a lot of response for people who wanted to do that. But I will be there around. I'm going to try and find some venues every day to do in-person coaching, in-person consulting. If that's something that you want, feel free to reach out to me. We did that last year and the year before, pretty much just sitting around and helping you with your portfolios and your allocations, that type of thing. So, all right, guys, with that said, I'll give you your time back. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Wednesday for the TVL show on the 19th. And that'll be my last show for a little bit on a regular because I'm flying to Denver next Wednesday. And we'll see you then, 1 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube, Twitter, as well as our Twitch channel. We'll see you then. 07, as we say here, beacons up, banks down. Keep beating those banks, everybody. Take care.